So here we go. You guys have the do now. You guys grab the do now from up here. You guys should be ready for those. I'll give you guys plenty of time to do them. We're going to go and get started for the solving the inequality. What's my first step? Distributive property. 21x plus 28 plus 8 minus 3 plus 24x. Okay, that follows don't or distribute. Call means what? Combine like terms, which refers to each side. In that case, I can only add the 28 and 8, which gives me 36. Dropping down everything else. Don't call Mexico. Mexico's what? No. Move smaller x. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and move smaller. So we're going to do 21 minus 21. Let's do to go below. From this, we're going to get 36 is less than or equal to negative 3 plus 3x. Don't call Mexico after. Add, subtract, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. I'm going to bring this part up here. We're going to get 39 is less than or equal to 3x. Midnight is divide. My solution will be 13 is less than or equal to x. Do I like how it's written? So we're going to flip it. Got to be able to flip it. Open or close circle? Left or right? You are right, right? Yeah, man. Good? Okay, next one over is solving for the variable. I don't want it to go into laps. We're going to go ahead and we're solving for our A here. So I got to get rid of this mx and this 5b. I'm going to do them in phases, so I'm going to subtract out mx from both sides. Negative 2a plus 5b is equal to y minus mx. Can't reduce those because they are not like terms. Got to get rid of that the 5b. So we're going to subtract 5b. 5b or not 2b? What is the question? 2a is equal to negative mx minus 5b. Last step is to divide by negative 2. You guys can't see that, it's okay. We're going to bring that up. We're going to get a is equal to y minus mx minus 5b all over negative 2. Very reminiscent of Friday's extra credit question. Extra credit. Extra credit. Now, one thing I want to say to you guys really quick that I also told my first period, I got an email from a student from 5th period, and it was from their parent saying, can they redo test number 1? Okay, I know you guys had a test inside your class. He or she did not perform well. Can you redo it? Yeah, the answer is yes. As long as you come and make effort and show me that you guys can make it up, we're all about that. Because there is no football games this week, I'll be here Thursday and Friday. I still have practice Monday through Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday I will be here. So keep that in mind as we go about and do this. If you want to come remake it, go for it. If you still want to get more practice and you feel more comfortable coming in like late October, early November, do that as well. I'm here to help you guys out. I want you guys to do good. Cool? Questions? Are we ready? Thursday and Friday this week. It's hard to determine that only because being a football coach, it's, I'm kind of have a set schedule. So I usually tell them, it's hard for me first semester. Second semester, I'm here all the time. All the time. Come in after school, I'll be here. Till about 4 every day. So just come on by. Is that cool? Is that good enough? If you guys need tutoring and I'm not here, the chart that says, right, you see where the testing is in progress? Right below that is the tutoring schedule for the campus. They have them different times. Mr. Jealous and I kind of go back and forth. He has his kids, so it's hard for him to be here. He's here for Saturday schools. I'll be here for Saturday schools as well, but next semester, it's kind of hard for me to do it right now. But if you need tutoring schedules, the peer tutoring on campus is quite good. So they're here to help you. They get paid. So they're there to help if they need to help you guys out. Questions, comments, concerns? Are you ready? Here we go. Copy down the following. Boom. The coordinate plane. We are introducing the coordinate plane graphing. Ooh, right?
If you guys want to use graphing paper, I have some on my desk. You guys can grab some.
So if you guys do need it, like Ms. Reyes said, there's graphic paper in the back for you to use. Oh, sorry. There we go. So copy, copy, copy. So we're introducing this stuff. You guys should have, these were 7th grade standards. You guys remember graphing coordinate points. Do you remember your teacher ever giving you those sheets with like 50 different coordinate points and then you plot the points from point to point and it created a picture? Right? Okay. No, we're not going to do those. But that's all we're doing. We're graphing points today. I want you guys to get used to the coordinate system, the quadrants, the intercepts, the tables, identifying certain aspects of them. We will have a quiz on Friday, just as we regularly would, and we're going to be grading you guys on this. So kind of, please be aware of that today. Then, questions so far? Questions, comments, concerns? No? Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. This is brand new for some of you guys. Some of you guys have done this. I just want to teach this as a refresher for you guys. Our graph paper or our graph doesn't need to be extremely nice today. We're going to be doing tomorrow on the Chromebooks. We're going to look at that card sort again. We're going to do a small activity that's going to kind of lead us into Wednesday, which we're going to introduce slope. All the different types of forms from looking at 2 points from, they call it the triangle slope, so teaching how to do the triangle slope from that, and the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It is also another form called the point slope method, which we'll get into, and it will be wondrous. We will still continue to look back and solve inequalities and equations, so that's not going away. Okay, so keep that in mind as we do them. I had the hiccups now. It's not good. I hurt. They hurt. They hurt. Oh. Have you ever tried to hiccup and breathe in at the same time? That's like worse. That's worse. Like it's like, ooh, yeah. This is, ooh, oh. Oh. Good question. I remember the answer because I looked it up, but I totally forgot. Like I don't know why. I don't know why. I wish I knew. No, it's fine. Okay, as we do this, the x-axis is the horizontal. The way that I think about the horizontal axis, I think about horizon, flat, horizontal, something to think about if it's going to help you out. It might help you. That represents our x-axis. We always know that we're going left and right with it. We know that we're going in the negative direction when we're walking backwards, positive direction when we're going forwards. Okay, something to think about, horizontal, okay, horizon. The next one that we're going to be able to look at as well is our y-axis. The y-axis form is going to be the vertical. Okay, vertical. Okay, most people, if they're on high rises, they get vertigo. You get like super dizzy, like whoa, vertical, something to think about. We talk about up and down. This is our y-axis. The higher you go, the more positive you get. The less you go, the more down you become. Okay. The more down you become, the more lower you become. Whatever works for you. Whatever acronym you want, or whatever words you want to use. Okay. Another name that we talk about as well, the point 00 is also known as the origin. Okay, we start at the origin. It is also known as the starting point. Starting point. Origin or starting point will be what you want to identify it as. We're going to talk about the quadrants in a minute, so I'm going to hold off and kind of reference those in a little bit. So just kind of hold off on those. We'll talk about those in a minute. Quadrant are broken into 4 as we do them. Can I continue? Okay, here we go. Continue on, copy down the following. Okay, graphing the tables. We're going to talk about tables as well. Graphing using tables. We talk about this coordinate system, which is a point in a plane. And this plane that we have, it's the X and Y plane. It's a two-dimensional surface. Okay, it's kind of like very flat. You can tell what the point is. We also refer to it as our coordinate points as X and Y, that you guys have seen them as. X is always first, Y is always second. One of the ways that you guys can know this is you got to walk or crawl. So you got to go left and right before you jump up, before you jump up and down. Right? You got to be able to crawl before you jump up and down. Okay. So that's how we kind of perceive the X and Y coordinate system. We go left and right first, and then we go up and down. Another aspect of them is they're also represented by, they're also known as inputs and outputs. The input would be your X value. The output would be your Y value. And we'll be referring to them as well, both of them. Okay. Input and output tables. Boom. These are the different ways you guys can see them. Okay. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Yes, just show those. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. But those are the types of tables you're going to see. Okay. Each of them are going to tell you your input and output. Some of them are going to ask you to do a little bit more, where the middle one and the bottom down here gives you the equation to plug into. You can also just get the X and Y table. It can give you a set of points, or it can give you a set of points and the coordinate point from it as together, as combined. Okay. We call that an input-output coordinate chart. Okay, but we're not going to kind of get into the, it's just a table. We're just using a table. Okay. A lot of the stuff we're going to be doing for this chapter, you can always use a table. I'm hoping you don't use it because it's going to take the longest to do it. Okay. But it always is something to go back to. If I teach you it and you want to use it, by all means do it. Okay, by all means do it. Okay. So to make sure we have time. Good to go? That's it? About 15 more seconds. Okay, here we go. We're just going to practice these. This is just graphing different forms. So different forms. The one up above we call coordinate points. We can take those and we can transfer them into our table. So 3, 7, 1, 1, 6, 5, 2, 4. This is called a table or input/output chart. And the last one I'm hoping you guys can get is the graph. This is just a graph. These are definitely the 3 different types of forms you will see. We will go into more depth because I'm going to ask you to, if I give you 2 points, can you give me the slope? Can you tell me what quadrant they're in? Are they intercepts? Are they not? Do they pass through the lines? That kind of stuff. So those are the kind of questions we want to ask and we'll eventually get to. Okay, we'll eventually get to. We can also transfer them onto our coordinate plane. In this case, we always do rise before run. So we're going to go over 3 on our x-axis, up 7. So over 3, up 7 will be my coordinate point here. I'm going to label it A. We'll label that A right there. 1, 1 is right here. Label that B. Label point B. 6, 5. Label that C. And our last one, 2, 4. Will be labeled D. Okay. Those are the various representations that we can see of the different types of forms we can see when graphing coordinate points. In the future, we're going to look at whether it's a function or not, whether we can define it as a function. I'll show you what that means in the future. Okay, we can tell by looking at the graph of it. We can tell by looking at the charts of it and the coordinate systems. So we're going to look at both tables, mappings, and graphs. Okay. Can I move on? That's it? Kind of, sort of? A little bit? Are we good? Okay. Here's the next one. We're going to skip that. Sorry. I know this one's long, but I got to go over it. We're also going to talk about the quadrants. And the quadrants are also important. I'm going to take away those. So quadrants, because we have an X and a Y axis, we're able to split this up into 4 different areas. Those 4 different areas are called quadrants. Okay. It's counterintuitive for what you guys think. Quadrant number 1 is just the positive numbers, which is also where we want to start out. So this is considered plus and plus. The second quadrant, its X value is negative, its Y value is positive. That's quadrant 2. Quadrant number 3 is your negative, negative. Looks like a little owl. So cute. And our last one here, our quadrant number 4, is both positive and negative. Coordinate points can exist in those planes. They can exist in only one of them. If it exists on the X or Y axis, we just say they exist on the X axis or Y axis. Okay, they don't exist in a quadrant. Okay, if it's on 0, 2, and we go up 2, it doesn't exist in both 1 and 2. It's on the positive Y axis. So we'll just say Y axis. It's also considered an intercept, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about in a little bit. Want to be able to look at those. So graph those, look at those, and then we're going to look at just a couple of examples doing it. Sorry, tired. Got you. I got you. Got you. I yawn, so therefore all of you yawn. Sorry. I could just. But it's beautiful Monday. You guys love Mondays, don't you?
No.
The start of the week.
No.
Yeah, right. Always fun to go to. Pop Warner? General America. Close. Close. Whenever we're looking at quadrants, I always try to just picture where they're at. In this case, for our first one that we're getting here, I want to be able to see that we're going to go to the right by 1 and up by 5. So go right 1 and up 5 tells me it's going to be in quadrant number 1. For number 2, doing the same thing. I want to be able to see that I'm going to go back 2, up 4. So back and up, it'll be quadrant 2. Back it up will be quadrant 2 again. And then positive 4, down 4 will give me quadrant 4. So just something to think about. Easy visualizations to show you where you're going to be. Okay, it has to be in one of them. We're going to go over where they're not in there, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Gotcha. Yawning is contagious for some reason. It's weird. See, got you too. Got you too. Even if you fake young around people, they're still young. They're still young. Even if you say the word young, they're still young. I know, it's weird. It's weird. Now I saw you trying to do it. I saw you trying to do it. You're trying to hide it. Oh man, that's funny. Okay, are we okay? Moving on. Yes, kind of, sort of. Okay, let's keep it going. You guys are doing phenomenal. Okay, copy down those two. We also want to talk about our intercepts. Okay, blank is the x-coordinate of the point which is graphed on the x-axis. We will refer to that as the X-intercept. Our y-coordinate point is always going to be 0. The y-intercept is the x-coordinate point where the graph intersects the y-axis. The x-coordinate point is also always 0. And I'll show you what I mean by that, okay? Whenever you think of intercept, think of just intersect. They cross. In this case, we're looking at points and lines that cross the x and y axis. You can have one, you can have some, or you can have none. And we'll do all cases. We'll look at all these cases, and we'll kind of change up this last one so that it gives you the right idea for this. A lot. Yeah. Like 25 more. Yeah. Like 30. Like 30. Like 7.
7 more?
Like 15. Huh?
How many more sets do we have?
We have maybe about 5 or 6. We're close to getting done with the writing. We just got to be able to graph the lines and graphs up. So. I'm sorry. I didn't have my coffee this morning. I'm lagging it right now. I need coffee. Without coffee, I become tired. So what? A life? Oh, cappuccinos. Yes. Very important we do those two. That's how you gotta get. Now, the x and y intercepts are very straightforward. There are points in which cross our line. One thing that we want to be able to see here is that our x-intercept, this is considered an x-intercept. It crosses our x line. The way that we label this is b, 0. Whatever point B is our intercept. So you got BO. No? Okay, never mind. Fail. Okay. The other one that we can also look at is A here. Our A value here will be 0A. This will also be known as the Y-intercept. Y-intercept. Yes. I'm sorry? I don't think they have home ec. I don't think they have home ec. In this case, we have 2 intercepts, which is a possibility. The next one that we're seeing over, we have a intercept at C. What type of intercept is this? It's considered a Y-intercept. It's on our Y-axis, right? So Y-intercept. Okay. So Y-intercept is on our Y line, so there it crosses our Y-intercept. In this case, we have 1 intercept. And looking at our final one, does that circle cross any of those 2 lines? So because it crosses nowhere, okay, it doesn't cross the X or Y axis, we say it has no intersects. Or no intercepts. Intercepts. Okay. So if it crosses the X or Y line, we are going to be able to find out and determine those values. Those are the ones we want to be able to look at and solve out. Cool beans? Yes, no? We have about 10 more minutes left in class. Are we cool if I keep on going, then no homework? Or do you guys want like homework? Okay. Okay. Then we'll go for the next 10 minutes if you guys are good, and we'll be done. Are we cool with that? Okay. We're just going to try out the problems. Oh, you're fine. Oh. Huh? No, first ones didn't have homework either. Okay. Are we good? Yes? Okay. Here we go. We're going to look at these different types. Go ahead and copy those 4 down. Okay. We're going to practice a couple of problems. If we practice a couple of those problems, I'll let you guys like 4 or 5 minutes to pack up. We have about 5 more minutes left. How about that? 2 or 3 more slides. Are we okay? Maybe 2. So copy those down for me. We want to be able to look at those. Tables, copy the tables, copy the graphs. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. Okay? But we just want to be able to identify the intercepts. We're going to look at the next one. We're going to be graphing coordinate points, so forth and so on. Okay? How many of you guys remember this? It's like very easy, but it's just a good refresher. It's helping me out a little bit, Mr. Ariel. I'm just kind of refreshing up. Cool. Good. Good. I just want to go over the lingo. I want to go over the definitions of what we cover, how to express them, what it looks like, right? I just keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. Okay? Yes. We've already talked about formulas, literal equations, but it's going to be more second semester. More second semester. More when we're doing triangle formula, sum of angle theorem, our alternate angle theorem. Yes, we do. We covered that a little bit. We're talking about distance on the coordinate plane. We will cover that. We will cover that. Yeah, we're going to start doing this. The first semester is a lot of Algebra 1. The second semester is a lot of geometry. So we'll finish up this with a little bit of stats. We'll do solving, graphing. That will lead us up. I'm looking at functions, talking about what's one-to-one, what's the vertical line test. Remember that? That kind of stuff. And then we're going to switch gears second semester where we're going to do constructions, triangle theorems, quadrilaterals, laterals, quadrilaterals, and then we're going to look at systems. Tongue time. Oh, no, it's easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. Dude. You got it. That's easy. Oh, you're good. You're good. Now, by looking at these for our intercepts, can someone tell me the X-intercept for we'll say this problem or the example number 1. What is the X-intercept? X-intercept is right there, yes? What's my coordinate point? Negative. I'm sorry? You got it? So negative 2, 0 is our first coordinate point for the X-intercept. What about the Y-intercept? Is what? 0, 3. Okay. What about the one to the right? We'll say this is example number 5. X-intercept? Zero, negative 2, 0. Beautiful. What about our Y? 0. Positive or negative? Positive. Go in the upper direction. Okay. One thing that we talked about before is if I give you a chart, you should be able to tell me where the intercepts are. Okay. When the value of X is 0, so whenever you have 0 in there, you either have our X or Y-intercept. The way that I would kind of describe this, none of these are 0, so cross those 2 out. Okay. Either one of them has to be 0 for it to exist on the X-axis or Y-axis. 2 and negative 2 is also no good. So cross those 2 out. Okay. What is 0? So if you have a 0, cross that one out as well. What does that leave you for the first one here? What point? Which is an X or a Y? So this is considered a Y-intercept. What happened to our X's? Our Y now is 0. That leaves me with a what? An X coordinate point, which would be considered a, is that hard? Stupid. I hope not. Okay. Don't get it? Do you have, for it to be an X or Y intercept, one of them has to be a 0. So the first 2, the top 2 I cross out because they don't even have 0, right? Yeah. For the first one we had here is 0, 2, right? We don't care about the 0, so cross that one out. What are we left with? 2, which is in Y. So it's a Y-intercept. Right, so we leave it, it's just a Y. If we do the other one, we cross out the 0 in here because there's 0 for our Y. That leaves me with only a 1 for our X. So it's considered a X-intercept. That's it. Okay? X and Y-intercepts have to deal with 0, 0 and X, or X and 0, 0 and Y. Okay? What about the next one? It's your question right here. What about 1, 1? Is 1, 1 have zeros? What about 2, 4? 3, 9? So what does this put me at? So what is that on? Oh, the origin. Don't let it confuse you. Origin. Okay? It's considered an intercept, but we just call it the origin. We just say it's a central location. You can say, oh, we won't say it's an X and Y intercept. It's just the origin. Easy or hard? Okay? We're going to do more practice tomorrow on this. Okay, we're going to do more practice tomorrow on this, so be ready for that.